3.
Oh man, as the multiverse aligns, new mutated enhanced being of my kind. I rhyme to an iron heartbeat of Eddie Kane, a conqueror with the thought of Xavier's peace of mind. Look, Max crafting a well-written in Hell's Kitchen, being blind, dare to see your Scott Summers eye to eye. Miles ahead, web slinging online in this age of Voltron, you ain't even inclined. The real McCoy, your beast with mine. I'm from Sakar, barely age, I've increased the time. Fantastic as a force field formed by Sue. It's the arrival of MRVL of the Minds, it's been due. Go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I do it every time. I keep it on loop for whatever reason. I need to take that off. But minor error. First and foremost, what up, though? It's MRVL of the Minds. I'm Nametag Alexander. Alongside of me, I got Peace of Mind. What's going on, good sir?
What's good? What's good?
Hey, we waited a while. You know, so we weren't gonna jump out there. I understand I gotta give my opinion first. The main character vibes that everybody be on when it comes to giving their opinions on content for the most part, whether it's these latest movies, music. But anyway, man, we here without further ado to discuss Fantastic Four First Steps. And pretty much if you already familiar with the backstory of Fantastic Four, basically they were one of Marvel's first more family dynamic style superheroes. Originally back in the 1960s, you got 4 astronauts: Reed Richards, Sue and Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm, as they were exposed to cosmic rays mid-flight, which transformed them into the Fantastic Four. Just, you know, manipulated their molecular, all that scientific jargon, whatever, sci-fi, pretty much one of Marvel's first trips down that sci-fi realm for the most part. And this film takes place in an alternate universe, Earth 828, which was heavily inspired by Jack Kirby's art at the golden age of sci-fi back then, which I didn't know that. I didn't know that the 60s was like considered the golden age of sci-fi. The film is basically set 4 years later after they've become public heroes. Sue discovers she is pregnant, expecting Franklin Richards, triggering a global moral shockwave when the team must balance their child's safety and Earth's fate. And we're going to get right into that, man. It stars playing Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal, who they've apparently just been casting in everything. You got Sue Storm. Everywhere. Man, you got Sue Storm, a.k.a. the Invisible Woman, played by Vanessa Kirby. I wasn't really familiar with their work until this film, so it was just like a clean palette, you know, canvas with me, just seeing like what she could do, whatever. I think she did a great job. We'll get into that as well. Johnny Storm, aka Human Torch, Joseph Quinn. That was one of the first comic book, because I thought because Wu-Tang, when I found out when I was a kid that Iron Man, that Tony Stark wasn't Ghostface's real name. I didn't know. I wasn't hip. I didn't understand. It was the early 90s. Don't shoot me or whatever. But yeah, when I found out, they have aliases or whatever, right? Method Man being Johnny Blaze, I'm like, yo, that name is so fire. The whole time it was Ghost Rider. I didn't know until later. You know what I mean? I just thought that was so dope that I felt like when I became a rapper, I had to have an alias that was a comic book character, and one of mine was I felt like I needed to be Human Torch or whatever, right? It's corny in hindsight, but you know, it was a thing for me like early on. And then you got Ben Grimm. Oh, he's played by Joseph Quinn, the Human Torch. I do know he's from Stranger Things. I didn't really get too into it, but I know he's from that.
It's in Game of Thrones too.
Okay, fire. So he's probably another one, but he not quite Pedro Pascal, but he's another one. He's been in a lot.
Nobody is. You know?
Yeah, Ben Grimm, our dog, The Thing, played by Eben Moss Backrack. Whatever. I think I always butcher his last name, but we know him notoriously from The Bear. Cousin, Richie. You know what I mean? I was real excited to see how he performed as Ben Grimm in this, man. I think he did a great job. I really do. I think he did a great job. We got Silver Surfer, Shia LaBeouf, Julia Garner. I'm familiar with her from Ozark. I didn't finish that either, but I know she was in it. But
oh, you gotta finish that, man.
I'm probably not. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I'm probably not. It's so much that it's like that. If it came out a while back and it was just this phenomenon and a show that everybody discussed, and I ain't get to finish it, I'm probably not gonna finish it. Unfortunately. We got Galactus, the voice and mocap by Ralph Ineson. I don't know what he was in, but he did a hell of a job in it. Game of Thrones as well. Oh shit. Okay. Nice. They said also appearing. We ain't gonna name these folks. We're not gonna name these folks. But anyway, man, like we always do when we get right into it, just man, you know, we're gonna hit it with the Run the Stones. What you giving it out of 6? And before you answer that, because we live on YouTube for people tuning in, what we do is a Run the Stones rating. We didn't have a name for it first. It was Peace who came up with the clever flip to call it Run the Stones. We basically just do, since Infinity War, that whole Infinity Saga was just such a big thing for the MCU. We use our rating scale as the Infinity Stones, and the 6 Infinity Stones. So Run the Stones, we just basically rate a television show in the MCU or film that rating scale. So out of 6, what do you give it?
I'm giving this a 5. Almost. No, it's 5. It's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I was with you on that, but I gotta give it a 4 out of 6.
Ooh.
The reason, now remember, we know it's not bad. That is a great. I enjoyed the film. I thought it was such a dope film.
3 is still even a good movie. It's the middle tier average, like still good. You know, there's nothing wrong with even 3.
This sets off phase 6, as we understand, because Ironheart closed out phase 5 for that alone. And also, I don't know, I saw something. You know, we used to record like fairly quick after we see some things, but I got a chance to just kind of just look at more behind the scenes information and videos, and man, they pulled so much out of this movie. They took so much out of this movie that it hurt my feelings, dog. And it was like that could have stayed in the film, man. They pulled so much, because I remember my second time watching it, I'm like, damn, something about this movie just seems very short. I was excited for the fact that they got right to it. It wasn't really a drag before the action really started or before the threat happened.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, but then it just felt, I don't want to say disjointed, but it just, you could tell like on that second watch, I'm like, damn, it did seem kind of short. Maybe I was tripping, but yeah, second watch, I was like, yeah, it's very short, man. But I think, I don't know if that's the MCU or Marvel in general, just kind of maybe not, I don't want to say being nervous. Why would they be? But on a sense of like, you know, this attention span thing with people today is shorter and shorter, because we got so much access to so much content like on our phones. And it's almost like I didn't know this. Like I heard people say it was people in theaters like into the film, but at the same time just scrolling, just trying to tap into whatever else is going on. And that's kind of whack. It's like, damn, dog. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same movie theater experience that it once was, because everybody just so distracted. And I'm like, I'm wondering if Marvel is like, well, if we make it short, people just kind of get in and get out and not get bored. Well, really, it's like, nah, man, give us at least, you gotta think how long was Endgame? You know what I mean? Infinity
just over
War,
like 3 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I ain't saying it gotta be 3, but damn, at least I don't even think this film was over 2 hours,
wasn't it? It was close to 2.
Yeah, about like an hour 44 or something like that. Yeah. So I was shocked. I was like, damn, but I'm like, well, this, I guess you would say this is their origin film. You know what I mean? But in a sense, it's kind of like, is it really? Because they did go through that montage of like, hey, it's been 4 years, and
they did,
you know,
need to. It's similar to a Spider-Man situation where we know, and those that don't know, they can pick up on it easily and just go for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but that was my reason, just for knowing that had it been like just caught me off that second watch and was like, yo, we about to record, then fine. But just having that time and just let me look a little bit more, brush up, because I don't want to rewatch it again, but let me just brush up and make sure, you know, I got my notes and everything intact, or just at least those talk points. And it was just like, damn, really, dog. It was so mean. I'm gonna say I send it to you, but dog, it was so much they took out of the movie, dog. Like the whole arc, and we gonna kind of bounce around, but the entire arc with Johnny and the come to find out though, I didn't know what was going on where he was trying to translate the language or whatever. I'm like, what? In my mind, I'm like, why you got vinyl? Why you playing vinyl just to kind of figure out? I'm stupid, dog. I'm like, why you playing on vinyl records just to kind of what's that got to do with? But those are recordings that
it was the signals that were coming in that I thought that was really cool too, how they recorded on gold vinyl. Like that was
I didn't catch it until the second watch. The first time I'm like, what's the purpose of vinyl? What did you? Because I'm like, why are you rushing in this room to go listen to the vinyl the whole time? He's trying to like. And I gathered that, he's trying to prove himself, which I did think was dope. I thought his character arc was dope because it was like, we so used to seeing him be the arrogant hothead, no pun. You know what I mean? So it's like at the same time, I now when they played it out this way, I'm like, well, don't you kind of gotta have some type of smarts to be an astronaut? You know what I mean? If you're traveling in space and it's all four of them, I don't think they're just gonna like, we got these three intelligent folks and here goes this dodo. You know what I mean? But so I'm like, that makes a little bit more sense. It was still kind of there, but I like how they kind of toned it down a little bit. He still had his jokes and still, you know what I mean? But it was like they were still like brothers in a sense with him and with Ben. Did you have out of all four? Who did you have any favorite characters like of the four in this film?
Out of the four Fantastics, I would say it would be a combo with Ben and Johnny, like those two together, the uncle, duo that they were doing, like that was great. Yeah, I like that.
Man, very unpopular opinion. I'm gonna say Reed.
Okay.
Because this was my first time. Like everybody that's been following the show for a while know that I didn't really have the chance to tap into the comics that heavily. I did watch the cartoon, which is crazy because I remember rewatching it. Some of the old cartoons from the Fantastic Four, not the ones way back in like the 60s. I'm talking about like the ones from like the 90s and everything. And I think they did one in around like the early 2000s or whatever. That was pretty cool. But it didn't really give you that complex version of Reed like that. They focused a lot more on he can stretch, you know what I mean, and he's smart. This movie, I thought it was dope. It felt relatable. Like it kind of was like, what would I do if I was in that position? You know what I'm saying?
And the way that they did this movie was so good, in my opinion, was that they didn't have any character overshadow another character and be more that guy than any. Like it seemed pretty even across the board. Like they all had their moment and contributed their own thing in their in their own power set way. Like I thought that was really good.
I think Sue was dope. She was definitely dope because what I do know is she has the there's another character version of her called Malice. So finding out more about that, I'm like, damn, I felt like, do you feel like we got glimpses of that in this movie?
I mean, who knows at this point, we could be going anywhere with this.
Hey, when she said kill her, he's like, what? Kill her. She's trying to kill your nephew. I was like, oh shit, like damn. Like, all right, Disney. So I think we got glimpses of it. I like that they showed, like, how the whole thing was that Sue kind of not being passed around, but she, you got Namor. I think wasn't it like a thing with Doom as well?
Oh yeah,
something like that. Yeah. So you got Namor, but Namor, I don't know if Namor ever popped, but but that was a thing.
Thirsty,
because it's a few of them from what I recall, and I'm like, they kind of set up in this, and then which I doubt this the MCU. It's so many projects unless they go on the animation route, but it's so much that they would have to do to really focus on that. And this ain't back in the day, where like with the Infinity Saga, we were fortunate how we got that rolled out to us. Whatever, and it was pretty much like a happy accident in a sense. But with this, I don't think they will go as far as in, because what Doomsday is pretty much next year. So, which I think is gonna get pushed back, to be honest with you.
It was already pushed back once. Don't put that energy in the air.
Hey
You
man,
take that back.
they pushing
No,
that
no,
back.
no.
We ain't getting that in 2026. It ain't, because they even give us a month. They just keep saying 2026. I don't even think we got a
I
month.
thought they did. I thought it was not too far off from my birthday, I thought.
But they pushing it back. They ain't.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. So to keep things moving, let me ask you, what was your high key? What was your high key scene?
As far as a high key scene, is hands down when they first go to Galactus, the first planet that they recognized that he had eaten. So man, because like on the first watch, it was like easy to miss certain things, but that second time around, I was like, oh man, just like you saw how gigantic he really was. And then they had, I'm like, because I always wonder, like, how does he consume these planets? You know what I mean? And then they showed it was like he had all of that connected to him that's basically eating for him. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm like, yo, that's fly, man. That's crazy. And then we kind of like where his eyes open up, it was like man, like
center into labor, like
man, that was so crazy, dog. Because he basically was like, oh, you ain't gonna give me the baby. I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that whole scene was fire, man. Just like her with the Silver Surfer phasing through. Man, dog, crazy, man. Like, yeah, that was the coldest scene to me in that film. I seen a lot of people saying there wasn't enough action in there, and I think they were probably just saying that because it was a shorter movie, but there was some action in the movie. I don't know how much they wanted, but it was some definite action in there for sure. But yeah, that was my high key scene. What about yours?
I gotta say it's right after that scene. To start that off, when they were in the wormhole, like traversing, that shit was that was so dope. But right after, when they were escaping and Johnny was on the guns and Surfer was chasing them and he was shooting and the lasers were being warped and shit, I was like, oh my god, this is so dope. And then when they were outside of that black hole, approaching that event horizon and got the Surfer stuck in it, trapped for 30 years or whatever, or whatever it was. That was so dope.
Talking about it makes me want to see it again, but I got to finish Eyes of Wakanda, which is dope so far too, by the way. But yeah, man, like that scene was crazy. And then I don't know, was there? All right, let's go with it. The low point scene.
Low key.
Yeah,
it's not low point, the low key. The
scene.
stuff that maybe people didn't catch that,
Man. I can't think of none that nobody really caught.
Oh, I got some.
Trying to think. Okay. And I didn't know this until after the second watch, because I went in the second time looking for it. And I was wondering, because Marvel, they always pay homage or they'll nod to something that the people who previously played a character or something, or you might get like a Stan Lee nod, or you might get like a something in the background as title something. That's hard to kind of look for. So what I was looking for, I was like, yo, I had been seeing so much on YouTube about the film that wasn't released in theaters, but it got placed. You can find it on YouTube. The official first Fantastic Four. Well, not official, but it was 94. I want to say is when it came out. It's a bad film. It's 94. What were you expecting them to do? Or whatever. It was bad. I watched the whole thing. It's terrible. It's terrible.
It was like something that made it.
Man, it's some weird. It's like Reed. He meets them when they're like he's tight with Ben or whatever, but he like meets Sue and Johnny when they're like kids. And then like later in the film, whatever, he, they're older or whatever, he comes to get them to go on the space mission before the whole, the whole catastrophe and everything goes down. And then like him and Sue are like, oh, that's kind of weird, but it's the 90s and folks were weird and on that type of time in the 90s, I guess, and it was just swept under the rug. But man, but they had one of those scenes in the movie the official film with First Steps. The original cast from, I think like 3 of them from the original cast in the 94 film was in this.
Yeah.
They had on like the trench coats. I think it was something with the fire department, maybe the police. I forget, but they were. It was. You blink,
I think
you
it
miss
was when they were all thank you, Fantastic Four. It was during that like montage, wasn't it?
Yep. And I don't know reason I was looking for it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna recognize them clearly because they older now. But going back, just kind of watching, because I was looking for them, and I said if I don't see them or one of them, because I was fresh off watching like the terrible one or whatever, and then I was like, okay, well if they're not in it, I'm looking for the ones from the film from 05. We're not gonna see Chris Evans, but I'm like my man's that played the Thing or the dude that played Reed Richards originally. Where we're not gonna see Jessica Alba, so I just narrowed it down to those 2. And well, my man's recently just passed that played Doom, but I didn't think we would see him anyway. But yeah, so I didn't see them, but we did see the ones from the original one from 94. So I thought that was dope. That was a cool Easter egg. But as far as like if we talking about, because I know that's why we do the low key scene, but I didn't really scene I didn't care for much was the one where Sue gave her speech about the whole, like, yeah, all right, you finessing them. So we get it. I know why, but it's like, listen, man. Which by the way, you put in that position, what you doing? Newborn baby, by the way. What you doing? Giving them up? Or you like
I don't know. That's a tough one,
You have access to technology to do major things, or you got superpowers. What do you do?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
Because do you feel like, okay, because I know I'm smart enough, my partner's smart enough, so we're gonna come up with some type of plan. Okay.
Yeah, find a way. All right.
Well,
now my low key. I'm gonna need you to put your tinfoil hat on for this one.
Okay.
In the scene where they're first going off to Galactus, they're going to get on their ship. The door they come out of, the causeway, the bridge to their ship, even the connector with the little extender thing at the center of it. The balcony that's around it, the shape of that building looks an awful lot like the building at the TVA where the temporal shit is going down, and where, Kang, or the early version of Kang, Victor Timely, is walking his way to the thing to do the controls. It's a spinning image, bro. Like, it is
you would goddamn right.
That shit.
What?
Yo, if they would have showed the control room on the other side of that door, I'd be like, yo, go back and watch Loki, bro.
What's crazy is that, what's crazy? But
there's more.
Okay, go ahead.
There's more. All the computers and shit that Reed is building are all circular, weird looking computers that are just like the computers in the TVA. Same shape, just a different color. The whole aesthetic of the TVA is that 60s, kind of 70s, Art Deco-ish vibe, which is the exact same vibe that Reed Richards has in his shit, in his whole thing. And with his, trying to move the whole world to what if he tried to move it and it got moved to the quantum realm, and that is like the TVA or somebody else, like
I'm not gonna front
shit, or
I ain't gonna hold you up. I thought when I first watched the movie, I thought that was gonna be
what was about to happen.
Yeah, at first, and I thought they was gonna find their way back, because at some point they have to fight Galactus. But I'm like, man, what if they're able to, transport, but it goes into the quantum realm? I was like, yo, that'd be fire. And then what if we get surprised, and because of how time works, you know what I mean, in the quantum realm, whatever, they bump into the Kang, you know what I mean? Because remember, they kept saying like, no, Janet, they kept dropping these hints about Majors being back, and you know what I mean, but they never said like in what it could be. Doomsday, we don't know. But I'm like, what if we see him in this? Since this is like one of the major films. I know they're doing Brand New Day with Spider-Man is supposed to be after Doomsday, I think. So yeah, this was the last major film before Doomsday. So I'm wondering, like, damn, that'd be crazy. We saw major. Shout out to Rufio Jones and Self Says, man. They jumped in the chat. Rufio said it's crazy that they did something in the past where they needed those heaters on the ship in the first place. Who did they scrap with? You know, the first time.
Right. And you know, it was a brief scene in Loki where we saw that little ship.
That ship. Yeah, that was season 1.
That looks an awful lot like something that Reed would be a
season
part of.
1 in the finale when it first came on. And a lot of people did say that because we didn't know that they had the rights to Fantastic Four yet. But we just kept speculating, thinking it's something like, oh no, Lord, they ain't gonna tell us, they ain't gonna know. But yeah, I remember that being a thing, especially on New Rockstar's channel. Like they point out all the Easter eggs, and I remember them saying, like, what ship is that? Because they do show you it's a reason they showed a ship. They didn't have to, but we did see a ship. And I still think that was the Fantastic Four ship.
Yeah, I think so. But go back to those final episodes of Loki, and then go watch that scene, because I know you have access to
season 2. Okay,
season 2, where Victor Timely is like, you know, trying again, and Loki's resetting it, and even the shape of the door, bro, that he comes out of, and the car, and then at the end of it, where their ship is where the controls, like the anomaly thing is.
And this is this is the scene where they first go see Galactus for the first time. Yeah, man, I gotta really pay attention to that. Then, damn, I feel like I gotta watch that shit.
The shape of the building, like it looks like the same building. Now, Marvel is known to reuse. Marvel is known to reuse sets and shit, but I don't know.
They used the set in this from Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, like that entire scene, that last scene where they scrapping with Galactus or whatever, like a lot of that on the main street is like from Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're gonna remix the set, but that is a good, man. I ain't even seen that. Nobody pointed that out in the Easter egg video, and I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But you saying you actually saw, like, man, I swear that was Victor Timely.
As soon as the shot opened and they came out the door and they were walking down the bridge, I was like, that looks just like Loki.
Oh man, I gotta fast forward just to that one part to be like, all right, is it him? Do I see him? Because how would that work? Like, how would that be him? But I damn shit.
Not necessarily him, but that area and that building.
Yeah.
And it just,
man, that made me want to rewatch it, dog. That's crazy. What now this is the main thing I want to know, and what you think about this, because you surprised me yesterday when you're like, I seen it, I'm ready. You're like, oh shit, okay. So we know at the end of Thunderbolts, mid-cred or whatever, we see the ship, we hear the music, oh, it's Fantastic Four. Has to be them, right? Okay. So I guess, and I was talking to Catchphrase about this, I'm trying to figure out, was that them seeing the Fantastic Four, which leads us into Doomsday? Because the way I was watching this film, I thought like when it ends, it leads into the post credit that we saw in Thunderbolts. Because I'm like, well, how did they get here? Like, what happened?
No, my guess is that we'll get how they come here at the beginning of Avengers Doomsday.
Okay, and that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
That would be my guess.
But they have to show that. We gotta know, because like, don't just waste that as a mid cred. Like, well, they just ended up here. Like,
right. Yeah.
And I wonder, do you think that could carry over because of like they know, like they, because obviously they knocked Galactus. Clearly, that was into another universe. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Silver Surfer that I'm pretty sure they're 100% beefing now. Like, you are not on my side. Like, you just knocked me. So something has to happen there, to where I think causes a trickle down effect to where the Fantastic Four has to come and get involved, because while Reed may have thought he moved them into some like dark universe somewhere, he probably is it possible that because this is the 60s, is it possible that he kicked Galactus into the main MCU timeline?
That's very possible.
And it's in the 60s. Definitely. So for what I know, Galactus is weak if he don't consume planets or whatever. And by this point, he was a giant, like walking through New York or whatever. but he was technically smaller than what they saw him as when they went to that one planet that he already consumed. So by him being knocked into the other universe, does he begin to shrink down, or like it's in the 60s? So like I guess they would show us like what happened to him in the main timeline. Because I would hope they don't bounce.
If they even get to that right away, there's so much other stuff they gotta deal with and touch on. I think they're gonna be focusing absolutely on Doom for Doomsday. I mean,
facts.
Doomsday. But my guess is that Doom, the movie will start in the 828, and Doom will either steal some of Richard's tech and start his conquest for Battle World, or you know what, he's probably going to use. He probably is going to use Reed's tech, that teleportation shit, and just start snatching, teleporting.
Because he teleported. It sounded like that. What I heard in the mid cred, that sounded like the teleportation tech.
Did you see it was like a little reflection of green light or something on Sue, like right as that scene was, and like I nudged Jess, I was like, Doom, Doom, Doom.
And man, because like the sound that I heard was the same type of sound that we heard from the Reed in Multiverse of Madness. So I'm like, oh, did he already get his tech by then? Or wait, Rufio said, I thought Galactus was the same size. It was just a ship had to be done big to fit him in it. That's a good point too. But I'm thinking like, because so much time had passed and he hadn't consumed no planets. When they first saw him, it's been like months that went by. You know what I'm saying? It went from like Halloween to like
3 months or something like that.
So much time went by. He probably like, damn, I ain't done in 3 months. You know what I mean? So maybe that could have been a thing, and then he just getting smaller, but he's still a giant. So I don't know. My bet is that they knocked him I think into the main timeline, but something happens to where he doesn't get a chance to like wreak havoc in the main timeline of the MCU. Because why waste time? Like, oh, we ain't put him in it. Because they say it's not the 616. That's the comic book universe of it. But the main MCU test like 1999 or something like that. So don't put him in another universe other than that. But it's like if they did, like I would like to see like what happened to where, because now you're in the timeline in the 60s.
There already is a Galactus in the main MCU timeline. We just haven't seen him. There already is for sure, 100%.
Self said the Void could knock him in.
That's possible too.
I didn't think about that. Because maybe he said he thinking like maybe could have been knocked into the main timeline too. I would just want to know like what the story could be if he was in the main timeline and we just didn't know for all those other movies that were out. Like, well, I mean, we saw the Eternals, which Celestial was involved. You know what I'm saying? Damn, man,
wreaking havoc, killing the planets, sucking up the celestial power and whatnot. And that's at that end credit when they're like, "Yo, you got to go handle this." And,
so I'm thinking it could either be that or it could be the Void, because the tech that Reed used to do that, which was so crazy, they act like Galactus couldn't see them, like he was about to step, and he was like, "Nah, I ain't about to step down right there. You ain't about to get me."
Or the what is that? The Cancer verse.
The Cancer verse.
Yeah, that's like Sentry, fantastic, or not Sentry. The what's that? Dude? Annihilus or whatever.
Nah, because Self just said something. He said the alter ego of Sentry has to fight. Oh no. Okay, the Void. Okay, the Void is what he's. I thought he was talking about like the Void, like in
but not like Fantastic Four or the Negative Zone.
Be a number of things, man. I might have to find some interviews with the director just to know, because I do want to know like where they did knock him into another universe, clearly, because it opened up with her, but like where though, and that would just lead to so that's enough videos in itself. So much you could speculate off of like where he went to.
That probably isn't going to get handled until the next Fantastic Four movie, is my guess.
Damn, that'd be interesting to know though, for sure. We covered just about everything, man. Especially with that, because I was like, man, let me ask about that for sure. What Galactus went to before we even wrap up, man. That's about all we got, man. I guess next time we come back, y'all gonna tap in. We're gonna be talking about because they only dropped 4 episodes of it. Of Eyes of Wakanda. I don't like how they doing this. Whatever, I don't know if it's intentional, but if Ryan Coogler name attached to it, it's like it get little to no promo, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I
When
ain't
I
heard
see
shit
nothing,
about it, honestly.
I saw one trailer early on, and it was about like 30, maybe 40 seconds, and then I finally saw another one that reminded me, oh damn, that is coming out August 1st, and it was like about maybe a minute and a half trailer. I saw they show like a clip of Iron Fist or whatever. Iron Fist back then, that Iron Fist or whatever. So I'm like, damn, like how they, but first episode so far was dope. I can't wait to finish the last 3. So when y'all hear from us, that we'll be talking about that. Eyes of Wakanda on Disney Plus streaming now. Let them know where they can find you at. Peace.
Peace of Mind 313 across everything, everywhere, always.
Yeah, same here. Name tag Alexander across the board, social media platforms and the music streaming services, Bandcamp, all that good stuff. And until next time, we're gonna close out with some of this sweet, elegant outro music. Until next time, it's been Marvel of the Minds. Peace.